Congratulations! You're my first one-star review. Hello everyone, I'm author R.L. Raintree. This is Reels and Reads, where I give honest reviews and occasional spoilers. Some of you are wondering, why are you smiling? You're giving this book a one-star review. You're totally about to break this Black author's heart. This is not what we're supposed to do with our people. Don't worry, okay? You gotta wait till the end, okay? And it's gonna get better. And yes, I've taken off the press-on nails for those of you who are shocked that I'm actually being seen without long nails. I'm gonna put on a new set, okay? Let's focus. We're here for the book review. All right. The title of today's book is They Always Come Back, and this is by Bailey Thomas. I will be putting a picture of the book beside me, but here's what it looks like. So, question. Does that look like a romance novel to you? Hold on to that answer. First, let's get into the synopsis. So we have Avery, who had a really bad breakup and decided to move to Las Vegas, and she convinced her best friend Paige, who apparently is gorgeous, to move with her. And when they get there, they meet another friend whose name is Hannah. So you've got these three very young girls, striking out on their own in a whole new state, having a wonderful time. Now, Avery doesn't really have the best self-esteem, and that is important because when they go down to the pool, they meet a fuckboy named Kyle. Yes, I called him a fuckboy. When you read it, you will understand. And he is the security guard who doesn't date residents at their little apartment complex. But he really seems to like Avery, and Avery seems to really like him. Now, they enter into this pact where Avery decides that she's going to stay with him on his shift so that all of the other girls who are throwing a coochie at him will keep their distance, kind of like The Walking Dead claimed, okay? The problem is that she wants more than to be his bodyguard at the pool, and he's basically saying the only thing I want to do is play with your fun bags. So if that's cool with you, then yeah, sure, we can hook up, but I want nothing more than that. Well, Avery's a pick me, and she thinks that she can change him. I had to breathe through that because that is a trope that I do not like. But I hung in there because I do my best not to DNF books. Just because I don't like the character doesn't mean I should just drop the book like a bad habit. Now, these two grow pretty close. She goes out with him at some point, but he doesn't seem to understand boundaries. She doesn't seem to understand them either because she is telling him all her business, like how much money she got at the crib in cash in an envelope. And then you have her friend Paige, who is trying to tell her, baby girl, I'm so pretty, I'm used to men, and I know them better than you, and you are missing all of the red flags. Baby, it's a tsunami warning going off right now, and you're not paying attention. But she gets mad at Paige because how dare you ruin my happiness by telling me what's obvious to everybody, including the reader. Now, along comes Paige's brother Graham, who Avery has had a massive crush on for years, and she finally gets to see what a relationship should look like. What a man who looks good and has a quality job. But she's a pick-me, and she is obviously emotionally unstable, which I'm not going to go into because some things should be left for you to find out on your own by reading the book. And now she has to decide between whether she picks the stable, career-minded, sexy guy who has been crushing on her since, college, or if she's going to choose the fuckboy who only wants to play with the fun bags. That's all I can tell you about this book without pretty much ruining it. And though I do occasional spoilers, this book doesn't need a spoiler. What I like about this book is the tension. It is constant tension. It is constant pressure because Avery is a train wreck waiting to happen. She is like the car that speeds up when it sees the train coming and the arms coming down and decides, I think I can make it. Baby, you will not make it. I mean, if you are older than your 20s, your early 20s, or if you're at least knowledgeable about life because you observe those around you, you know that this girl telling people how much money she has in cash in her home is a big mistake. This girl constantly talking about herself as if she's the most hideous thing. People are going to hear that and make thoughts about her as far as making her a potential victim. We hear Paige and we're convinced that she's right, and we don't understand why Avery insists on being this victim, this pick me, please come and assault me type victim. Now, I use that term very carefully because there are multiple attempts at sexual assault in this book, so heads up for that. But again, the tension is the best part because Avery is a train wreck waiting to happen, and you're just wondering what it's going to look like when it does happen. Speaking of train wreck, let's talk about why this book is getting a 1-star rating. Forget the fact that I can't stand female protagonists who are pick-me bitches. Forget the fact that I can't stand female protagonists who are dumb as dog shit. I mean, it makes it so hard to get through the pages just because of that. I cringe. I can't connect with her whatsoever because she's so damn stupid. Let's forget all that. Let's focus instead on the fact that this is not a romance novel in the slightest. This is a crime drama. This is contemporary fiction, contemporary drama. You know what? Let's go ahead and call it contemporary drama. And remember when I showed you the cover before? When you see that cover, that screams happily ever after romance. And that's not what this is on even the most remotest of scales. Okay? We can use a bell curve, but that bell is going to be very, very awkwardly shaped. This is a contemporary drama. This is not a romance story by any stretch of the imagination. So if I were to give this book a rating based on the cover, based on how it was marketed, based on what the reviews were telling me, then I would give this 1 star. There is nothing romantic about it. There are times when the character introduced herself at least 4 times in one chapter, and there's no need for a character to say her first and last name constantly. There's times when she was violating Kyle's boundaries. Kyle was violating her boundaries. I mean, it was really, really bad. Okay, when it comes to being a romance novel. And then there is the language. The narrating language had no style whatsoever. It sounded like someone was writing a report. I ascertained this. You know, it was my assertion to do that. He exclaimed this. I mean, it was very cold clinical language. I couldn't hear the author's voice. And since the story is being told from Avery's point of view, it wasn't even being told in Avery's voice because Avery's voice in the dialogue was completely different from her voice when it came to the narration. So obviously, I would give this book a 1 star. Or would I? Because if you change this book cover, if you tell me that this is a contemporary drama, this immediately jumps up to a 3 to a 3.5 star book. You see, if we make some tiny tweaks, like get rid of the cold language and give me narration with a little bit of style, if we say that this is contemporary drama and we change the cover to something that reflects it, even if it's just a solid color book with words on it, I immediately see this completely different. Again, I come into this expecting a sweetheart happily ever after romance, and instead I got drama that includes an attempt at sexual assault. But if I know that's what I'm going to get, I'm going to like it 100% better because we are in the mind of a pick-me. We are in the mind of a woman who was born to be a victim. And then there's an entire storyline involving her parents abandoning her as a teenager. This is a great story when I change the genre. This is a great story when you change the marketing. So for that, I'm going to give this 2 ratings. As a romance novel, this is a 1-star book. But as a contemporary drama, this is easily 3 to 3.5 stars. And if you look at the rating on Kindle Unlimited, people agree with me. She's sitting comfortably at a 3.5, almost 4-star rating. And I would agree with that rating if I knew this was not going to be a romance. That has never happened on this channel before, and it'll be interesting if it happens again. So would I recommend this book? Absolutely, but I would make absolutely positively sure that I tell the person who's going to read it, this is a drama, not a romance. What did you think? Did you read this book? Do you think she should have changed the cover? Do you think she should have changed the genre? Have you ever come across another book under those same circumstances? Hop in the comments and let me know. And as always, thanks for watching.